Hello viewers, welcome to Elimu TV where you watch and learn. I'm your tutor, Alex Musawa, and I'll be taking you through Chemistry Form 2, lesson number 31. Our topic is salts. The objectives of this lesson are to state and describe the type of salts, and number 2, to identify soluble and insoluble salts. And what is a salt? That is the first question which we ask ourselves. What is a salt? A salt is a substance that is formed when the hydrogen ions in an acid are wholly or partially replaced by a positive ion. A salt is a substance that is formed when the hydrogen ions in an acid are wholly or partially replaced by a positive ion. We have four types of salts, namely normal salts, acidic salts, basic salts, and double salts. What is a normal salt or a neutral salt? It is a salt that does not contain any replaceable hydrogen atom. Some examples of normal salts are sodium chloride, potassium sulfate, sodium carbonate, and calcium nitrate. These salts are neutral in aqueous state. That means when you dissolve them in water, their pH is 7. What is an acidic salt? An acidic salt, these are salts that contain a replaceable hydrogen atom. Example is sodium hydrogen carbonate, ammonium chloride, potassium hydrogen sulfate, sodium dihydrogen phosphate. They have acidic properties due to the presence of replaceable hydrogen atom. Next we have basic salts. These are salts that contain the hydroxyl OH ions. OH ions. In the presence of hydroxyl ion, the presence of hydroxyl ions in this salt is responsible for the basic properties. That their properties are bases. Example that they are basic. That means their pH is above 7. Example is like magnesium hydroxide, also basic copper 2 carbonate. These are basic salts. We have double salts. Double salts are salts in which there are two different anions or cations. Double salts are salts in which there are two different anions or cations. Examples are hydrated potassium aluminium sulfate. Hydrated potassium aluminium sulfate. Next, we're going to see the solubility of salts in water. How salts behave when you dissolve them in water. As you can see, all the salts of sodium and potassium and ammonium and nitrates and ethanoids, they are soluble. All of them are soluble and none is insoluble. All the salts of potassium, sodium, ammonium, and all nitrates and ethanoids, all are soluble and none of them is insoluble. But in chlorides, most of them are soluble except silver and lead 2 chloride. Chlorides are soluble in water except silver and lead 2 chloride, which dissolves in warm water. Sulfates. All sulfates are soluble except the sulfates of barium, lead, and calcium. All sulfates are soluble except of barium, lead, and calcium. Calcium sulfate is likely soluble. And all carbonates are insoluble except those of group 1 metals and ammonium carbonates, or of ammonia and iron do not exist. All carbonates are insoluble except those of group 1. Ammonium carbonate and aluminium and iron carbonate do not exist in the environment. There's one thing you should note there, that all chlorides are soluble except Li2 chloride. Li2 chloride is insoluble in cold water but soluble when hot. That is a point you should note. Li2 chloride is insoluble in cold water but soluble in hot water. That is a point you should note. Next is the solubility of bases in water. Solubility of bases in water. As you can see, bases react with water to form hydroxides, and calcium oxide reacts with water to form calcium hydroxide. Magnesium oxide reacts with water to form magnesium hydroxide. And oxides are soluble. Oxides of potassium and sodium and their hydroxide are soluble. The oxides of magnesium and calcium are slightly soluble, while that of zinc and aluminium and copper are not soluble. The bases of potassium and sodium, that is their oxides, are soluble in water to form a basic substance, a basic solution. That's why they turn red litmus paper blue. Red litmus paper blue. But the oxides of zinc, aluminum, and copper, since they are not soluble, they have no effect on red litmus paper. Bases of magnesium and zinc are slightly soluble, while the bases of zinc, aluminum, and copper are not soluble. That is in summary. And that is the end of our lesson. I have a question for you. Number 1, which oxides are soluble? Number 2, which hydroxides are insoluble? Our reference is KLB Book 2, 5th edition, Chemistry 2019. For more information, contact us on our phone number, YouTube, Elimu TV, Facebook, Elimu TV, Twitter, @ElimuTV_KE. Thank you for watching Elimu TV. Stay tuned. 6 minutes.